For many years, even after I got into making videos, documentary films, sometimes wedding films, event videos, short films, and even full-length feature films, I wasn't so sure or even understood fully the concept of how to accurately expose my shots. I thought if I could just adjust the ISO and it looked proper on the LCD of my camera or open up the aperture to my taste, then I must be doing something right. But then again, when I got on to edit my videos, trying to color correct or grade, I would notice that in some parts, something just wasn't right, at least the way I wanted it. Sometimes my footage would be just noisy or the highlights completely blown out. Now, before we go into what exposure is and how to do it right, there are so many tools out there that help us and it can get confusing. You've got the light meter. I once bought it and then sold it. There's histograms, EV metering, false colors, waveforms, blah, blah, blah. You arrive late to a shoot or you're shooting a wedding and the light keeps changing. How are you going to be able to manage all of that? Now, there's this technique where you are to expose your shots to the right. This technique is called ETTR, which means expose to the right. But with film, the highlights were way harder to blow. Digital is quite the opposite. In digital, it's way easier to recover shadows than recovering the highlight. This was very common with film because film needs lots of light. So if you don't have a lot of light, you would have super noisy or grainy image. So because film was really good at preserving highlights, it was easier to just overexpose it so as to have enough information in the shadows and just bring down the highlight. Now, what is exposure? Let me break it down, which will make it easier and quicker for you to get the perfect exposure accurately every single time. Exposure refers to how much light is actually entering the camera and hitting the sensor or the film. So now this is a very underexposed image. This is a very overexposed image. When you've correctly exposed your shot, you're going to have a better dynamic range and you're also going to get more control when you're color grading and in turn a better overall image. Exposure or brightness is measured in stops of light, so you'll be able to see if your image is underexposed or overexposed by the number of stops and you'll be able to compensate for it. So normally with a DSLR camera or mirrorless camera that I'm shooting with, there is histogram or EV meters which help you see if your image is overexposed or underexposed. You may then need to subtract or add more light. If you're filming indoors like I'm filming now and your camera is telling you that you are overexposed, you may need to add a diffusion layer to cut down the amount of light. If outdoors, the most preferred thing to do would be to reduce your ISO. But there's this one method which, although scientific and because we now mostly shoot using digital cameras or shoot digitally, is using false colors. And I use false colors 99.9% of the time. So now, what are false colors? False colors are a safety tool that helps to ensure that the highlights in the footage are not clipped, which means that they are not blown out and appear white with no detail. For me, I think using false colors is the most accurate and most likely the quickest way to expose your footage. Alright, so how I expose using false colors? Before that, I should say that not all cameras have false colors. Like my Panasonic GH5 right here, you're able to measure exposure with the built-in waveform, histogram or EV tool. The Sony a7 IV, which I'm currently filming on, is able to display the usual exposure meter and the histogram, but it doesn't even have waveform display or vector scope that the older GH5 has. Or like my Blackmagic cameras, like the one I have there, that have built-in false colors. Now, the funny thing is that these Blackmagic cameras do not have the standard exposure meters the Sony or the Lumix GH5 has. Maybe because they are cinema cameras. But anyways, whether I'm shooting on my GH5 or the Sony a7 IV or the Blackmagic cameras, I always use false colors. And for me, false colors make it super easy and the fastest way to get exposure right. Starting from the shadows, when you look at the false color chart, dark blue means anything in that region is underexposed. The next thing is dark gray, which means that you are in somewhat good area. Green is okay, while pink is usually the sweet spot for perfectly exposed skin tones. If, for instance, you were trying to expose for skin tones, usually if the skin falls between green and pink, you should be alright. Light gray is not really ideal. Yellow is way past the ideal region and red is way overexposed and clips. But you may be wondering, okay, now I understand false colors, but how can I make use of false colors when I do not even own a Blackmagic camera? I've got you covered. The solution would be to get a portable monitor with great false color meters built in. I own several monitors and I prefer using my Blackmagic Video Assist, which is almost like using my Blackmagic camera. So I have some monitors here just below the screen. The Podkeys LH5P to the left and the Blackmagic Video Assist. This is a 5-inch 12G version and I'm shooting both monitors using the Panasonic GH5. And you can see that both monitors are able to show or display or interpret false colors. But you can see there's a difference between how both monitors interpret false colors. On the Blackmagic Video Assist, if I look to the right of my camera, you can see the blue or the dark blue color, which shows that that area is heavily underexposed. And you can see to the right of me, on this side, you can see that there's dark blue, which shows that this is heavily underexposed. And you can see some parts of the screen to that side, they're underexposed. But that doesn't show on the Podkeys LH5P. So it's important to know that when buying filming equipment, pay attention to these things that help you stand out or help improve your filmmaking process. I like how the false colors from Blackmagic are represented when compared to others. I would be doing a review video on this particular monitor, so if you have not yet subscribed, kindly do so you don't miss out when I drop that video. Usually before I hit record, I will activate false colors and look at how everything is displayed or exposed on the screen and adjust my lighting so everything is nicely keyed in. Now there are a few things I would like to talk about in addition to using false colors. But before I go on to talk about these things, it would be best to say that although I've talked about false colors, it is not a must that false colors must be used. As I earlier mentioned, in the absence of false colors, you can still use a camera's built-in meters or histogram or whatever exposure tool your camera has. And now with Blackmagic camera app on iPhones, I'm not sure if there's one available for Android, but I heard they'll be releasing one soon. You can also expose using false colors to get proper exposure. And in addition to properly exposing your footage, you should also consider proper white balancing of your footage, which I will talk about in a future video. So once again, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on that one as well. Also, before I forget, try to make sure that you have set your camera to its native ISO. Knowing this is crucial to avoid or reducing the possibility of noise or grain in your shot. For the Sony A7 IV, which I'm currently filming on, the cleanest signal is ISO 800. And if I'm to go higher, the next one is ISO 3200. While for the Blackmagic or the Panasonic GH5 here, ISO 400 would be it. But this does not always mean that you must have your ISO at those settings. Sometimes you can go a bit higher, but be careful of noise. Now, obviously, there are a few things to think of because it can get very subjective as this is a creative field that we're in. There are things like exposing for the subject versus the background. So it comes down to what matters most in your story. What do you want to highlight the most? What do you want the viewers to pay attention to? So if it's the subject and the background doesn't matter, like in most interviews or talking head shots, then you want to expose correctly for your subject. But if you need to see something that's happening in the background, make sure the background is properly exposed. If you notice just behind me here, I have a light pointing on the leaf or the fake plants I have there. So I'm trying to bring up the fake plants in this frame. And then you've got a good starting point for your grading workflow. Once again, thanks so much for watching. Have a great week and I'll see you in the next one. And if I miss anything, just ask in the comments. It's your Filmmaker. Peace.